introduce you, if that's okay?
Sure.
I just feel like it's an important description. I think you come with a lot of interesting background, so it's good for people to know. It was in the description for the event as well, but thank you both to Ailene and our registrants for being here. And I also want to say this is navigating the holidays for solo agers is sort of a beginning part to, or sort of a preview of what we're going to be doing, a 5-part series starting in 2023 about solo aging and the various facets. And Ailene has had a lot of success with the Cambridge Public Library as well on this particular topic. And it makes perfect sense. She's an independent board certified patient advocate, solo aging educator, and founded the her national patient advocacy practice, Beacon Health Patient Solutions LLC in 2018. Specifically, Ailene works on dynamic advocacy with a focus on solo aging. This also led to a fall 2021 founding of the Navigating Solo Network, the path to dynamic solo aging starts here, which is both a website and network and an online clearinghouse for resources specifically for solo agers. So, she has an undergraduate degree from Clark University, a master's degree from Brandeis, and just had a lot of on-hand, personal experience dealing with primary health advocacy, as well as dealing with solo aging. So there's so much more I can say, but I think the most important thing is that Ailene is incredibly well qualified to speak on the topic. And thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thanks for having me, and thanks to those of you who are joining us now and also have the opportunity to see the recording. I hope it's a useful resource going forward. I'm extremely grateful to the Belmont Library and to Beach Street Center for the opportunity to partner on this program. This morning, I'm going to share a number of slides, and that way it'll give people some ideas of what to do. And then afterwards, we'll go ahead and stop the recording, and anyone who wants to comment in any kind of question and answer will be able to do that without them being concerned about the recording piece of that. So let's definitely get started. So I, as Lauren said, am an independent board certified patient advocate, work with people navigating all kinds of elements of the complexities of the healthcare system. And over time have worked with clients who self-identify as solo agers. And people who self-identify as solo agers have some unique needs. And it became clear that having a better understanding of those unique needs definitely would benefit me in my work with clients and also the client's outcomes. So with that, we're going to just chat about some creative ways for solo agers to navigate the holidays. And before I get started with some ideas, it's really important to me that everyone's speaking the same language. So I know what I mean when I say solo ager and what the framework is. But I want to make sure everyone else has a clear sense of what that is. So for me, it's a framework, right? There's no definition, there's no card membership. It's just a framework of a slice of the demographics. So for me, it's adults 55 and older who are without a reliable support system. And that reliable support system is the key piece in terms of solo aging planning and navigation. So that person may or may not be married or partnered, either lives on their own and or with a partner or a spouse, not have children, or had children, but for a variety of reasons, estrangement, complicated family dynamics, and unwillingness or inability to assist, people are without the support of either adult children or adult family members. And so for me, that's the framework of solo aging when I refer to solo aging. So this morning, we can hear a little bit from attendees in terms of what brought folks to the program today. We're going to look at making a holiday plan, ways to connect with others, things to do for yourself, some resources, and possibly hear from some folks on maybe what's worked for them in the past or what they're hoping to do going forward. So every time I offer a program related to solo aging, no matter what it is, planning is always involved. So it's really critical to plan major aspects of things going forward. So it's really important, even when it comes to approaching the holiday season, to have a sense of how you would like to navigate it. And everyone will do what's comfortable for them. But if there are folks who are seeking some ideas of maybe ways to connect with others, hopefully this will add to what you're already thinking. So I recommend that people decide in advance things like what they'll eat, things like what kind of activities you might do or want to do, giving some thought if the weather cooperates with planning a walk, either on your own or have the opportunity to do that with somebody else. Sometimes, it's just watching a TV show you really enjoy, or a movie you meant to watch, or a movie you really enjoy watching as an opportunity to plug that into your plan. But planning in general is really important. So it's also a good idea if you have a book you really enjoy reading or haven't gotten a chance to read, or you cue up some music that you enjoy. All of those different things can help in terms of setting a plan for you going forward. I always recommend, and this has worked for people in the past number of years, of course, as we've been navigating the pandemic, to set up virtual visits with friends. You could do an activity together. You could possibly do a craft project. You could certainly each prepare your own meal and then sit and enjoy the meal together by virtual connection as well. That's always an option. So something to think about. Connecting with others is really critical. And so different kinds of ways to be creative with technology are really good opportunities. So, setting up a regular visit with a friend or a family member or extended family member is a great thing to do. So you have something that's part of a routine. Letting friends and other members of your support system know that you want to connect and schedule some time with them. The likelihood is that others are thinking and feeling the same things we're feeling. And sometimes people just are afraid to mention it. And so it's really great to be able to possibly bring that up first, and most likely it'll be met with support and understanding. It's also good to think of different ways that you'd like to have different kinds of distractions, or that you want to chat with someone about a TV show you've seen recently, or a movie, or a book, or a talk you went to, or something that you've connected with, and it's really great to hear from other people about their own experiences. The reality is that every person is unique. What kinds of amount of social contact is varies from person to person. And so having a sense of what you might need and being able to share that with others who support you can be really, really helpful during this time. It can be helpful always, but especially during the holiday season time. So connecting with others also means something as simple as just saying hi to a neighbor, right? we don't always have the chance to do that in the way we might have before, whether that's in an apartment building or in a residential house, townhouse community. It's always nice to say hi to your neighbors. It's fantastic to really connect with the programs that are offered by your local community center, your senior center, your library, faith community, area villages. All of those different kinds of organizations offer opportunities to help people connect, whether that's a book group, a current events group, or some other kind of affinity group, something else that people have a common interest. It's also good to just pick up the phone and call a friend, maybe that you haven't spoken to for a while. But the reality is that whatever the method is, we know that reaching out and connecting with other people not only strengthens bonds, but it helps people to feel more connected, and that helps challenge loneliness. And loneliness is an emotion, whereas being alone is a physical state. So the emotion of loneliness can really take a toll on our well-being and our psyche. So it's great to find joy in small interactions. So if people are having a hard time coping with being on their own, it's always great to connect with people around you. And that can be walking into the library and saying hi to someone you know. It can be stopping in a coffee shop or a restaurant where you connect with other people and just saying hi, a convenience store. Reaching out to people in your community is also really, really helpful. Those small moments can not only change your day, but it can also change the day of somebody else. And so these small moments of connection are often overlooked, but can really be something that benefits everyone. So it's good to keep those in mind as you go about your day, your week, your month. Always good to take note of what's a part of your routine, and maybe if there are some new ways to connect with people as you encounter people at a hair salon, in the grocery store, etc. So we definitely know that people have different needs, and so it's really important to be aware of what is the most important for us as an individual, and also what things we might need in order to feel the most supported. So it's always nice to prepare a special meal or seek out purchasing a special meal if that's something something you can do. It's always nice to have that. It's always great to decorate your home. However, you know, will give you the opportunity to experience something in a multi-sensory way. And it's not just about what you're eating or what you're decorating. It's also nice to have some music that you enjoy. It could be holiday music. It can just be music in general you haven't listened to in a while, and you know that it really enhances your day. And so to be intentional about that and make sure to have that as part of your plan. So the reality is not all of these things can, quote unquote, erase feelings of loneliness, right? As I said, loneliness is definitely an emotion. The concept of being alone is a physical state, but the emotional piece of being lonely can be challenged by being aware of things that might offer you comfort. So again, revisiting things like enjoying a book, enjoying a hobby, exploring something new, doing something for yourself is definitely a form of self-care. And it's really an important thing to do for oneself at a time that might feel difficult. And the reality is that holiday time, the season that we're approaching, end of November, December, beginning of January is complicated for everyone, right? Everyone has different feelings and experiences different dynamics as they connect with other people, regardless of what their support system looks like. But it's a really great time to check in with those that you're connected to and can offer you support, and of course that you can offer others support as well. It's always good to think about things that'll enhance your self-esteem, or things that are just purely fun that you've been meaning to do and there's some downtime now and you'd really like to do it. It's also a great time to think about volunteering or helping out either an individual or through an organization. It happens to be that during holiday time, a lot of organizations hear from people who are interested in volunteering. So it's always good to keep that in mind and perhaps be able to volunteer throughout the year as well. So just something else to think about. So we know that being outside, going for a walk, just spending some time taking in fresh air and exercise, breathing fresh air into our lungs definitely assists us in our mental health and well-being. So it's really a benefit to us if we can to spend time near trees and water, or just spend some time outside. And for some people, that just means literally walking out their front door, whether that's in a house, in an apartment building, standing on the sidewalk, standing in the driveway, just being able to spend some time with some crisp, fresh air when the weather is nice, or if you're somebody who enjoys standing out in snow and you happen to be somewhere where it's already snowing or will be snowing, take advantage of that in a helpful way, but definitely take advantage of that. It helps with us staying balanced, and it helps with our mental health as well. The other thing is to really make sure that people have a sense of gratitude and what we are thankful for or what we're grateful for that are a part of our world. And again, those can be really small pieces of our day, but we're really grateful to have had a conversation with someone who wished you a nice day, or with the opportunity to smile at someone and they smiled back. All of those different pieces really give us a sense of gratitude, and being able to take note of that in whatever method people like to do that, whether that's writing it down or just taking note of it. Some people do that through photography, and they take a picture of a, something they've interacted with or someone they've interacted with during the day. It really gives you something to reflect on when you're feeling a time of challenge. So unfortunately, for the last number of years, we've sort of been living in a case study of challenging loneliness and isolation. And I always like to remind people that aging solo, simply means one. It doesn't mean anything else. The connotations or the stigmas people put on it, either internally or externally, is a different story. But the reality is that aging on one's own means you get to choose who your friends are and the level of involvement they have in your life. Sometimes when people are navigating the complexities of family dynamics, they don't always get to choose that. And so you get to choose what involvement people have in your own life. And I always like to remind people, if one lives on their own, they have the opportunity to keep their house messy if they want it, or keep their house clean if they want it, or whatever it is. But most importantly, solo does not equal lonely. And that's really important. People who are aging solo are are no more or less lonely than any other part of our demographic and society. But it's important to just have a sense of different ways to connect with other people. We know this in general about isolation. We know that there are fewer connections in terms of people to their neighborhood or their communities of faith than there have been in the past. People aren't living in intergenerational communities in the same way, or intergenerational households in the same way they were in the past. People aren't always connecting with organizations or faith communities or things like that in order to create support systems. And all of that means that there's less of an ability to call on people when it comes to having a medical situation that you need support for, an emotional situation, a financial situation, or any other kind of situation where having other people involved would be really beneficial. That can be something every day, such as someone giving a ride to or from a medical appointment or from a medical procedure. And it can go all the way along the continuum to a time of crisis or concern or a medical situation that needs additional support. But unfortunately, due to the different changes in how people live, our connections have also adjusted, and our ways of connecting with other people have also adjusted. So we know for sure that being isolated is not beneficial for anyone. It definitely creates a reduction in social activities. It certainly increases those feelings of loneliness. It also sometimes challenges people's behavior in a way where, from a health perspective, they don't adhere to medication schedules in the same way. Some activities of daily living may not be something that they're connected to as well. So that connection with other people and feeling supported and connected in a social way is incredibly important. So ideally, the best way to challenge a risk for isolation is to live in an environment that offers and supports social connections, some meaningful activities, an opportunity to be a lifelong learner, and easy access to transportation. If we have a hard time getting around, getting to an event we want to attend, getting to a class we're interested in, getting to or from a medical appointment or any of those things, that will definitely limit our connection to the greater community. So in an ideal way, and it's not always possible, but ideally, it's great to give thought to what social connections are available, classes and opportunities for learning, what transportation is available, and then certainly activities that are available to you as well. So I thought I would offer some resources just to give people some ideas of where they could also tap into if they weren't already aware of some of these things. AARP offers a fantastic resource called Senior Planet, and their website is seniorplanet.org, and it offers all kinds of groups, some classes, and ways to connect. It's certainly over the internet. It's not necessarily in person in 3D, but it is a great way to connect with other people based on interests and all of that. Get Set Up is a wonderful organization that's designed for active older adults, and it's really all classes. They can be technology, learning how to use various elements of technology. They can be on classes can be on a variety of different subjects. So they're another outstanding resource to look into as well. I always encourage people to connect to their community center, their senior center, which we're fortunate to be partnered with a senior center, community center for this program and for future programs. Always good to check out what's available to you in your community, and the Massachusetts Councils on Aging website will direct you to the proper location for you. Lifelong learning, there are a number of programs that are usually abbreviated as OLLI, the Osher Lifelong Learning Institute, OLLI. There are many in our Massachusetts community. They're certainly worth looking into as well. They have various fees for courses, etc. The Village to Village movement, which I have on the next slide, in general offers a whole listing of all of the villages around the country. The one that connects with Belmont residents and other surrounding town residents is Cambridge Neighbors. So they're worth looking into as well. As I said, the Village to Village Network website is useful for that. Had the opportunity recently to partner with the Massachusetts Task Force to End Loneliness and Build Community, and that was convened by AARP Massachusetts. They are doing all kinds of work. There are about 80 organizations who are working together to offer different kinds of programming, advocacy initiatives, etc. I had the opportunity to be interviewed for their series Connect TV, and also they are starting to offer the interviews audio only as well. And so their website offers a number of resources for connection ideas and some other additional programming. The work I do with solo agers can be found at my business website. I always like to make sure that I recommend books that are in the library system that are specifically for and written to and about solo aging. Who Will Take Care of Me When I'm Old is by Joy Laverty. Joy lives in Chicago. I have the benefit of working with her frequently, collaborating with her on programs and initiatives, and she's very, very knowledgeable not only about solo aging, but she also has an additional book on caregiving, which is extremely a great resource. And Sarah Zef-Geber, who is based in California, wrote Essential Retirement Planning for Solo Agers. And that book and Joy's book, they both have outstanding worksheets, ideas, and really give people thoughts on how to put together a solo aging plan, and what you need to think about and what you need to be intentional about in planning going forward. These are some additional details about the work I do with solo agers one-on-one in working with people to put together their plan. And then this is the clearinghouse website I created for solo agers. And there's a resource library with recordings such as this program recording from different speakers who speak about the topic of solo aging on a variety of different subjects. So there are videos, there are podcast interviews, there are research articles, there are links to articles on the web about solo aging, again, on a variety of topics. And when you go to the resource library, you can see the things broken out into different categories. Monthly, there's a Navigating Solo newsletter. After the success of some virtual get-togethers we've had over this past year, we are going to be launching regional groups as a way to connect solo agers to each other and beyond. So those are just some resources that are available on the website that are definitely worth checking out. that's information on how to join my newsletter and if you'd like a resource sheet from today's talk. And with that, I am going to stop sharing.